What's up, you guys? It's always the same time, the same fun, but this time we got a special guest again. We're lucky with this, Mr. Rob ONeill. What's up, dude? How you doing?
How's it going, guys? It's good to be here.
So we have an announcement, and Tad did a big thing about this. Mr. Bob ONeill here will be facing now, since Mr. Pearl decides not to do it, which Joel has the right to say so. Will be in the main event at All Out for the prediction show against the one and only Jeremy Lambert. So how do you feel about your matchup, by the way?
You know, I like my chances. Jeremy very clearly and openly doesn't watch wrestling that much, so I think that's good. It's helpful. And I got the edge on him. You know, I know him pretty well, so I feel good.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second, though, because you're facing him at All Out, you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't you not watch AEW?
Well, I haven't on Fridays. I'm going to get back into it this week, I believe. So, you know.
Saturday this week.
Yeah, Saturday this week.
What,
and then Wednesday.
What time is it on Saturday this week?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because they want to beat out because the NBA playoffs. That's why. Because
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you hopping into the tournament, and this is the real deal. So it's not like any other different. Oh, thank you. A little late there, but this is actually the real deal. This is not a fake title. This is real. And then my sister's like, so you're going to have to hold this till WrestleMania? Damn right I'm going to have to hold it till WrestleMania. Hell, I even love the fact that and we have like certain people in our show chat that literally like those 3 pictures I took. So I had Sunday off for the first time in a while, and I had my 2 best friends who had her birthday. It was Father's Day for him because they're married. And then also my friend Josh, who used to work with me, I brought the Universal title that I have, the red one, and the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls title just to, you know, show them about it. And they love it. And they love the idea of doing this. They think it's different. So, and whoever gets this title will carry it. So that's why, I mean, it's go for it.
Coward, Coward. He's a coward.
I'm not going to do a bidding war, especially when DGMC was invited to be on the 1-year show and dodged it. So, I mean, that says it, because he was invited to be on there. And he was invited to be on there vocally. So, but at least one thing I appreciate, though, is that, you know, Rob, you doing this and having fun with it, too. So that's what's more important.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think of if you end up passing, you know, and end up meeting up JJ? What are you going to do for a promo against JJ when JJ's like the PR for the distraction?
That's going to be tough. I got to plan that out, man, because I do like JJ quite a bit. He's a good dude.
Yeah, because right now, as it constituted, there could be a possibility that you guys meet up in the finals, at least going towards it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, September 5th, you know, this year at All Out, Lambert versus ONeill, that's going to be a pretty good main event. And then JJ versus Wilkins is going to be a good one too. But this month we have at least 4 matches planned out. So we'll see how that goes. So where you guys feel like starting tonight? There's so much we could talk about tonight. I mean, we could talk about the documentaries that have just been out. The Broken Skull Sessions was really good. For me, it basically with the biography with Mick Foley and then watching the Broken Skull Sessions back to back, it made you appreciate Foley even more because he left his biography with a question and it's like, was it all worth it? And he answered it on the Broken Skull Sessions, which was really good.
So I'm only about a quarter of the way through the Broken Skull thing. So I'm glad you didn't ruin it for me. No, I
wouldn't do that.
No, I don't care. Like, it's an interview. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
unlike some people who literally have like basically a psychological complex of their personality, which is basically split. That's part of this community. But
there's some interesting things.
And I've seen quite a few of his like interviews and stuff too, because I love Mick Foley. I've not seen any of the like A&E documentaries just because I don't have the channel. But yeah, whenever Mick Foley does stuff, I'm typically like, all right, I'm glad I watched that. So.
The AEW documentary in this Broken Skull Session thing, most of the stuff in both interview and documentary is basically the same stuff. Because of Mick Foley, I mean, there's nothing bad that really happened in Mick Foley's life. Yeah, he got hurt a lot, stuff like that. But what's fun and interesting is he's just a great guy. He's like one of the most respected guys. We all know that. Gave his body to entertain us. Not the best wrestler, but he knew how to work by using his body and stuff. And what is interesting, the Rock and Sock connection. The original plans for him to turn heel on the Rock.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well,
that was just interesting, though.
He's a guy that's going to age really, really well, just because of like the fact that he doesn't say stupid things on Twitter, and he's very in favor of like the next generation's way of doing things. So he's a guy that I think, when you look at like his body of work, like that's going to give him a legacy that he earned. But he's going to be a guy that like down the road, he's going to have almost that like Pat Patterson level of respect where no one's going to say a bad thing about him because he earned the respect in the ring. He's been very helpful to a lot of younger people. Like he's going to be one of those guys that like no one will ever say any bad things about, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
we need those.
He
guys.
put a lot of guys over. The Rock, Triple H, Edge. I mean, if he didn't put those guys over, I don't know. I mean, The Rock was champion, but that feud with Mankind in the early 99, late 98, early 99, that put Rock to the next level, even though Rock had the promo skills and all that. If it wasn't for Mankind, I don't know if he'd ever be where The Rock was. Triple H, that definitely helped Triple H get to the next main event level. Edge especially, more than those two.
Rob, what do you think about all this, both documentaries and the sessions?
Well, it's interesting, because we have heard so much about Mick Foley. He's written all these books, and there's been so much content about him, but they manage to keep it interesting when they have new stuff, and I think that's really impressive. And a lot of it does go into just he's a likable guy that a lot of people like, and I think that plays a part too. But he's a guy you root for.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Foley is a game changer, and I've already said why multiple times. If you're watching and checking out the stuff, check out Match Memories that me and DK and Rob Wilkins did as a reminder of an anniversary towards my mom for her birthday. Foley changed my life completely with that Hell in the Cell match just by itself. Like it literally probably changed a lot of people's lives in that. I was literally that was 98, right? That was literally not that 98. Far.
King of the Ring.
That was April, right?
No, June.
June, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
the
right.
Anniversary was just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That was literally right after I became epileptic. So that was not that far from it. And seeing that match, it changed my life completely, not only as a fan. I mean, obviously, that's why I say epilepsy sucks because I can't go to a show anyways. But it changed my life in perspective because of the fact that at that time I was going through hell. Like we just lost our house because of a boiler fire. And the whole house is covered in like smoke and soot and stuff because it exploded from the basement all the way up to the top floor. And we were living at my aunt's house. So, I mean, it's already been documented. I've already talked about the stories on it, but some matches Foley did, a lot of people are saying, remember, everybody remembers Hell in the Cell, but a lot of people forget about the Boiler Room match that he had with Taker, or, they even pointed out the match with Edge was insane. Like he even said that he shouldn't have came back a few times and doing the TNA run, but he needed the money. And they gave him a creative outlet.
Like the thing about Mick Foley is as much as like now like people look back on ECW fondly, and you'll have a lot of people going like, oh yeah, like I was a fan of ECW. Fact of the matter is at that time ECW was not that popular, so it really is for a lot of people. Mick Foley was their introduction to that hardcore style of wrestling, whether it was as Mankind or whether it was later on against Triple H and Cactus Jack. Like I actually just yesterday, I actually watched Triple H's appearance on Conan way back. I mean, this was like, I think this was like 2001. He appeared on Conan, and it was up on their on YouTube, and he's talking about it, and he's talking about the street fight that he had at the Rumble with Cactus Jack, and about how like Triple H, like when he went backstage and he and Foley are getting fixed up and treated. Like Triple H's mom was there like crying, seeing her son just get whammed on by a Mick Foley, and that and Mick Foley, and I don't think anybody can deny this. Mick Foley really made Triple H what he is, and because Triple H was not really working as being that top guy until he started feuding with Foley, and so it's more than just the Hell in a Cell match. It is he's left a big legacy across the entire industry by helping to basically cement Triple H as being one of the top guys in the industry, period, by making hardcore wrestling mainstream and something that was seen on a regular basis by millions of people.
I agree. I arguably helped Austin a bit.
So what I'll ask you guys is that I'll ask you guys a match that you remember Foley for, and explain why. And it might be a match that you've seen with him in it, and it just changed your life. We'll start with Rob, and we'll work our way down.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Backlash match against Randy Orton because, I was a little too young for the Attitude Era, so that was really like my first exposure to Mick Foley, kind of as Mick Foley. And
thank you for making me feel old, by the way.
And so I mean that was like the start of it, and then just from there it was like, this guy's awesome. I have to find out as much about him as I can, and that wasn't super easy in the early 2000s, but I think as the network kind of came to be too, that helped me really appreciate him more too, where you can go back and watch the stuff from the early 90s and obviously the Attitude Era stuff, and it's that really got me into him though.
I got a question too. Did you ever see any of the pay-per-views from WWE/WWF in a black box? Like the black box where you could just steal pay-per-views and stuff?
No, so I didn't actually watch pay-per-view till like the 2011 Royal Rumble, when you could just find them online, live.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely dated myself. I remember black boxes.
So I like the late 2000s, like 08, 09, like that run. I actually would watch. No, for WWE, I would actually watch them by going to Buffalo Wild Wings because they would always show them, and it was like, okay, for like $20, I can get wings, I can get a couple drinks, and I can watch the pay-per-view. Like, heck yeah, why wouldn't I?
I watched pay-per-view in the theaters before. I watched SummerSlam 06 in the theater before.
That would be cool, actually.
Yeah,
the Mr. Winner of the match against Aaron.
The first pay-per-view that I ever saw was actually WrestleMania 27, which was over in Detroit, and that was the first one that I actually saw.
You mean 23?
Live that happened. What did I say?
You said 27.
Oh yes, 23. I'm sorry. It was in 2007. That's where I got mixed up. Yes, that was the first one that I had seen live, and I saw that in my college dorm room in an empty classroom that was normally locked on Sundays, but our multicultural assistant had keys to the classrooms, and he was a wrestling fan. So I told him, hey, if I get the pay-per-view,
there you go.
You unlock the door. We'll get Papa John's because we could use our debit dollars as part of our meal plan to order pizza, and they'll deliver. And my girlfriend at the time, like, she wasn't planning on really like watching the show. She was just kind of be in there and read a book. She ended up watching the whole thing and loving it. And now to this day, she actually is a wrestling fan because of it, and she'll sometimes watch with her boyfriend now.
Can I say about my favorite Mick Foley match? Ironically, it's not really one of those hardcore extreme matches he has. It's not the Hell in a Cell. It's not the match for Edge WrestleMania. It might be a surprise match. The special guest referee Vince McMahon, Steve Austin versus Dude Love. I think it was over the Edge or Backlash in '98. That was a pretty good match. Mick Foley did some moves, and throwback. If you saw the documentary, he mentioned like a sunset flip. He did some moves. That was a great match with Austin. And that's what
he did a backslide on Austin.
Yeah, that's the match where Undertaker chokes down both Briscoe and Patterson through the announce table. It's a very good match. Like, Mick Foley may not be the best worker because he doesn't have athleticism, but he knows ring psychologies. And if you know what match I'm talking about, I think you guys do, right?
For me, I think the best part about it and this stuff being from the state I'm in is just him mentioning like how big of it almost with two major things in his career happened in Worcester, not Worcester, it's Worcester. Let's get that straight off the bat. Oh, here we go. You're gonna wait, by the way. You're still in timeout, Drew, and
leave him.
Yeah.
We'll put the timeout button again. He's fine.
Yeah. So the thing about it is that him mentioning that the night he won the title and Shivani ruining it was the best thing that's ever happened to him in his career, and mentioning that the Rock and Sock stuff happened in a year later in Worcester, and they originally didn't want him to be a part of it. They wanted to Rock be the face and him be the heel, but they saw the connection after everything, and it was too good. So I mean, it's great to acknowledge a city like Worcester, which is going through a renaissance right now as it is.
So back, he did say there was that one moment where he could turn heel. It was that SmackDown segment when the sunglasses fell. Remember that SmackDown segment when the Rock and Sock connection? The sunglasses of the Rock accidentally fell. That's like the only moment he could have turned heel. That's what Mick Foley said in that documentary, in that Skull session.
See, my favorite Foley matches. It's one that it does get talked about, but it doesn't get talked about in the way the Triple H matches or the Randy Orton match. But it's someone else who I think immediately benefited from being in the match, and that was the hardcore match he had at WrestleMania 22 against Edge.
Yep.
Because
I hate you.
Why would that yours?
No, it was up there. I like that one. I like the one Bob said too, because like for Randy Orton at that spot, like he was not established as like a
became champion,
brutal guy, and it was a very good match. But no, go ahead, talk about the Edge match, because I love that one too.
Because Dom, that match had happened after Edge had cashed in a Money in the Bank, the first ever huge shocker, but was a transitional champion and loses it to Cena at the Rumble. And then the rematch, Foley is a special guest ref, and Cena wins, and Edge uses that to blame him. And just the storytelling leading into that match, and then the match itself, from the very beginning where Foley is wearing this kind of like subdued plaid, and Edge just immediately spears him and then just reacts like he's been shot, and Foley takes off
the Bret Hart spot.
Yes, but it's better. Wire,
yeah, it was better.
And it's so good. So then, of course, the very end with Lita lighting the table that's had all this lighter fluid put right on it. She lights it on fire. Edge spears Foley through the ropes right into the table, and the crowd. I could just hear the crowd when it lights. Them all going, "Oh," because they know what's going to happen. And that match solidified Edge as somebody who could be a top guy. Like Foley helped. I mean, Triple H, Orton, Edge, Rock. He helped so many people. Shawn Michaels, way back to their Mind Games match. He helped so many people to really establish themselves as being, yes, we can be at the top. And Foley he deserves every bit of credit that he gets.
So I don't want to do this. I really don't. But he's acting like
hold on, no. Make him wait. I didn't get to say my Foley match.
Go ahead.
So I really like that one, and they did on the network. They did one of those Untolds on that match, and it was really well done too.
Yeah, it was.
Edge actually talked about like how his like burn jelly like sweat off, so he actually got burned on that spot. Yes. So that was probably going to be one of the ones I was going to pick. So instead, I'll two birds, one stone. Is I'll play off that, and I'll plug something that I did recently. If anyone goes to Music and Moonsalt's YouTube channel. It's another guy that's in the Fightful community, but he does different reviews. He and I did a retro review of One Night Stand 2006, which plays right off of that WrestleMania 22 match.
He was heel, right? He turned heel.
Where Edge and Foley decide to unite and become the hardcore champion. Yeah. And then you get that. Dreamer. Yes. So Funk and Dreamer, and then Lita and Beulah were on that match too. That match made me uncomfortable for like the first time because I hadn't really seen like deathmatch stuff. That one actually got me a little uncomfortable, and now like I'm excited to watch Nick Gage destroy Matt Cardona in a few weeks. But like, that was a match that I went, holy crap! And
Now, have
I
you
don't do
read-
that setup on. So.
Have you read Foley's book about that match and that story?
Mhm.
There was a
I have, I think.
So it was the Hardcore Diaries. It was, I think,
Yes,
the
I have.
third book they did. It details him like trying to come up with a story to lead into the one night stand match. He at one point he had pitched because he thought this is going to be perfect. He at one point had
Sorry.
pitched having
What the hell happened?
It's just Ray being Ray. It's fine. He had pitched having Vince McMahon come out and having Terry Funk come out in Terry Funk's hometown and having Terry Funk basically willingly join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, and Terry would go to do it. Instead, he would just bite Vince's the dumb butt and like take a chunk out of it and like cause it to bleed. It was supposed to be a huge thing, and getting Vince involved with it. And Vince went, well, I'm already involved with the DX storyline. I can't be involved in two separate storylines. And Foley was just so dejected because he had pitched this from the very beginning and it had been a go. And then suddenly it comes down to do it and it doesn't happen. And it just got watered down so much. And you can read in the book from the beginning to the end and how Foley's enthusiasm for the whole angle and match just quickly evaporates.
Not to
All
mention
right.
when the New Age Outlaws push him off the stage in the trash can with Funk, that ruled too.
Oh, yeah.
Foley's awesome.
Well, WrestleMania 14 was also a great match with, like you said, that was the tag match where they ended up being in that. So I'm going to warn you, Rob. We do have a guy here in the waiting room that has literally a Roman Reigns complex. He's going to come in here and demand the whole screen. So why don't we just antagonize him and give him what he wants, considering he's a good person not when he's not in character and it's not kayfabe, but he's a royal dick when he's actually in his character right now.
Is it a character anymore, or is it just him?
And the only thing I'm going to say is that it's not at your house and you're not getting it. And by the way, a Hyundai is not a classic car or a high-end car. And to quote my sister, it seems like you're basically subsidizing or compensating for a lack of manhood there because you're talking about other things. But this is at my house. This ain't your house yet. This is my house. And this show is my house. So I'm going to warn you right now. Behave. And I'm going to say one thing from a message from my friend. Shh. He's watching. Have fun, Drew. I'm taking this title and I'm heading out.
It's okay because I'm not fazed by any nonsense right now. Not because I'm back. I have been silenced. No. I actually don't need the full screen right now because I just need to know if the results of Hell in the Cell have been said yet. Have I missed that?
They're not being announced until the two participants have shown up. You can have the full screen, but until they show up, that's it.
Maybe if you showed up on time, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Just saying.
Oh, that's funny that you're saying that because I actually showed up.
You showed up, but you didn't show up on time. Bob ONeill is the only person who gets to show up late and make it okay. You're not Bob ONeill.
Okay, I have to do an actual introduction here. You can put Bob on the screen for a second. I just want to see Bob. Nobody else matters. There we go. Robert ONeill, it's great to officially meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, how's it going?
Very, very well. I just heard that you will be taking on Jeremy Lambert. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Good. People might not realize this, but I actually do respect you. I consider you to be higher than, the rest of the people around here.
Mhm.
So, welcome. It's nice to see you. And hopefully, we don't need to, be in a thing in this tournament because I will just beat you. But it's okay because I respect people and I'm a great guy, aside from what you may have heard.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, no, I hope we can avoid each other. I don't think it would end well for you. I don't want to have to go against you.
I'm warning you. I really am, Drew. He is watching. Your opponent is watching right now. I'm getting text messages, and he's telling me to tell you to shut up.
It's fine because, my stats guy, he gave me my predictions.
He gave you your predictions so you can just throw it away and tear it up. I mean, dude, we've already established this. Tad's ruling is final. That's it. It doesn't matter if you have another stats guy, if you have another Hyundai in Brooklyn, if you have the ability to, wipe Roman Reigns' ass. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, to quote the Rock, it doesn't matter. Tad's ruling is final. So I'm going to get off the screen for a second so I can cool off.
Tad's ruling might be final, and I might have to deal with that. It's okay. It's all right that I have to deal with that. Because maybe eventually Tad will do the right thing. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know.
Or your stats guy can just get better at math.
See, here's the thing. There's rules to the tournament. There's set brackets and set matches. You're trying to insert yourself in brackets and matches that you're not a part of. Like, you're not a part of them, so you can't claim that you're the rightful winner if you're never a part of them in the first place. And the fact of the matter is, this is going to look even more embarrassing for you when you do finally get your match and when you lose and you're knocked out of the first round. And you know what's going to happen? Then you're going to act like a big old baby.
Who's the real one acting like a big old baby right now?
I don't know. Who's the one who's actually won a match?
I'm being very calm. I've spoken wonderful things about our new guest, Robert ONeill. I'm being very civil. I don't understand why the hate. Why the hate? I'm a nice guy.
It's not a hate so much as a frustration that you're trying to circumvent the system.
He doesn't understand rules.
I am not trying to circumvent anything. I am just showing the truth. That's why I'm here. That's why I was silenced. Because I'm...
Now he's actually silent. If that was true, then why would you be concerned about beating Anakin and I in a one-on-one match?
Exactly.
If you're not concerned, wait for your match.
Exactly. Wait your turn. Do you not know how to share?
At the end of the day, right? I'll just say this. Why don't I just announce it? Because Maggie's probably working and sleep. Pat's probably busy. This is the second closest match. And I wanted to see her reaction live. And if she's going to pop on, she'll pop on. There's plenty of time to do so. And she'll probably, and I'll rephrase this. Let's just say this much. Let's just say this much, right? 56% to 50%. I'll go around and who do you think won that match?
Those are terrible percentages. I'm in a loser's bracket against that. Ugh.
No, but I'm saying just out of those two.
I watched the predictions, but that was before they changed the matches around.
The problem is that they added.
I'm gonna go.
They added
Maggie
3 matches.
Yeah.
Who do you guys got, Maggie or Pat?
Maggie.
I'm going Maggie.
Rob.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Maggie as well.
Okay, table.
He's gonna pick Pat because Pat does the Roman thing too.
Well,
I pick Pat.
Let's just say this much. If you beat my friend, God have no fury like a queen scorned. She'll make you your bitch. Maggie won. 56% to 50%. And let's just say this much. If you get through my friend,
nail biter.
your ass is not going to be in a great position because she will literally light you up. And we know Maggie well enough, and including you, that in this tournament, if she gets, and she already warned you, if she has the chance, she'll do it. And this could happen. And that would be the most interesting thing I'd ever see. And that match, if it does happen, will happen in a good match at Survivor Series.
Okay, that's cool. But now
with a stipulation, and that stipulation will be discussed between the producers of the show.
Wait, so we have to listen to this garbage until December?
No, November.
God. Oh my God.
That's only if he wins at SummerSlam. If he loses at SummerSlam, then we don't have to hear it anymore.
That's gonna be worse, actually.
So this mystery figure needs to take care of this.
Yeah.
And let's just say this much. The stipulation at Survivor Series, whether Drew wins, if my friend wins, and stuff to go against Maggie, the producers of this show and on the secondary show, and they know who they are, will make the stipulation in unanimous fashion. And there's also one producer that's a part of the show that has produced the show a couple of times. And this person's agreed to actually be a part of this, even though they don't know anything about wrestling.
Oops. Bob O'Neill, I'm sorry. I just saw that picture of Bob Wilkins made of you and Bob.
Good one. I saw that too.
So now, since the predictions were made official, now I would like the full screen because time.
We got other things we got to talk about, Drew.
Why do we cater to this guy?
We've got other things to talk about. We've got Hell in a Cell to talk about. We got NXT to talk about. We got Raw. We got stuff to talk about, Drew. I don't know.
It'll be very quick, I promise.
How about this? Why don't I do this? Hey, Tim, do you want to go all out and be the greatest heel of all time?
Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful full screen. Now, my stats guy, he sent me this envelope. Kind of a little weird. I mean, he didn't usually do it this way, but right here.
Maybe you wrote it yourself.
Don't make fun of my stats guy's handwriting, okay? He's a stats guy. He does math. He doesn't need to do any other stuff.
You wrote it yourself, so let's just be honest about that. Let's be honest.
No. Here we go. Okay, I'm trying to be nice here, but that's fine. The hacker, he thought that he was going to get one up on me. He thought that I was going to lose. No. Because here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I have won everything. What?
That's so perfect.
Oh, love it.
Love
it.
All I gotta say is whoever's the hacker.
That would be such a perfect ending to the show, right there. That would be a perfect ending to the show.
And I want to ask this, considering the fact that his mouth's wide open and he's in shock. Do you like this? Hey, head of the table, head of the kitties table. Do you like the bed? Huh? Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Go back to the kiddies table and go pout and sulk about how your quote-unquote stats guy is not really that great. So have a good night, Drew.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, it's Hannah.
Whoa, what up, Hannah?
Oh, you want to come on and have some fun with Bobo and us? Considering, Drew is literally losing his shit right now. I'll just send it to Hannah and see if she wants to come on. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
would
I
make the show worth
mean,
watching.
It makes it a lot more interesting because I like Hannah's perspective about the tournament too.
I'd like to watch her actually rip into Mr. TBD there because I have a feeling she would not stand for his bullshit.
Well, Hannah, if you're still watching and stuff, why don't I just? You're at baseball, but
See the baseball.
well,
Is your
if you
son's
can't-
team? Is your son's team at least winning, Hannah?
They're probably better than the Yankees.
Well, Hannah, how about this? Because it's been
Probably
a long
better
time.
than the Tigers right now too.
Hold on. Since it's been a long time since Hannah's been on here for a while. Hannah, if you're still watching this, and I know you're busy with the baseball and stuff with your kids, if you can come on next week and give your perspective of all this, it'd be much appreciated because it would be an amazing thing and it'd be awesome because I want who essentially is, let's just leave it at that. She is the ultimate belt collector. So if I want her perspective of this, and Hannah's been on the show a few times in the past. So if you have time, it'd be great for you to be on and just let me know. Oh God, Drew. And I want her perspective of Drew character right now.
Clip this. Somebody clip that stuff like with you.
Maybe
I
you
will
should hire
find
better
you.
people.
I will find you. I swear to God, I will find you. Acknowledge me.
Did he just sound like Vince McMahon there for a
Yeah,
second?
I did for
He
a
just
second.
sounded like a little kid that literally has a complex. Sorry about that, Rob.
Acknowledge me.
And the funny part is when my sister heard the acknowledge me stuff that he was doing, it sounds like he's having like a psychological, evaluation of his personality a bit. God.
The difference between Drew and Liam Neeson is that Liam Neeson has a set of skills.
Yeah, he
A
does.
particular set of skills.
No, just a
And
set of skills.
And by the way, that is awesome. 4 hits in baseball is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
By the way.
He's
It's
more hits
not.
than Seattle Mariners
well.
combined because their team average is like 215.
Well, anyways, let's move on to NXT. Considering the fact that, yeah.
Well, I had to watch it online.
Let's just leave this at much. And like I said, I'll see if Hannah wants to come on, and we'll have Drew do whatever Drew does, and hopefully she gets it. I want somebody that's been on this show previously too, and I'll ask Bob's opinion on this too, of somebody outside when we announce this tournament and everything too. Because it's good to have a different perspective on it. And plus, the last couple of weeks, I've been having a lot of mental issues with all this stuff because it's like, okay, and stuff. Oh, boy. Can someone block him for about 5 minutes while I talk, please? I want, like, Hannah's view on it. I want Rob's view on it and stuff like that. So, I mean... Well, I'll ask that in a second. So I'll probably ask DM Hannah if she's watching and just let you know that, you're always welcome here. It would be an honor for having you back on here. So, but what's your perspective of this tournament if looking outside beforehand, now being a part of it?
It's interesting. You got a really interesting group of people here. And I think it's hard to say who's going to win. Obviously I'd like to win since I'm in it, but it's definitely something, man.
Well, the idea of having people who have been on the show and people who I admire and stuff like that, like your stuff with the distraction, I love. I completely love. Like I'm in there watching it while I'm doing an oil change, and that's very hard to do when you're trying to burn yourself from a hot car.
Maybe you should focus on not burning yourself.
Yeah. You should have heard me today doing an AC recharge on a GMC. I was swearing like freaking crazy, and the ladies sitting there watching my wrestling videos. So I mean, because we were talking, one of the guys is talking about that, be like, "Oh, you should just play one of your shows and just relax on it." I'm like, no, but for me, and this is
I can't imagine what they would have thought of if they saw Jeremy the way he was dressed today.
Oh yeah,
I didn't get a chance to see. Actually, I did not get to watch today.
JJ posted a screenshot.
But for me, this is like a gift to the community. So like I said, this is, and these guys have agreed to it. Like, say if you win it, I'm going to ship it to your wherever you want it. This belt here will be sitting on your shoulders literally after Mania. So anybody who could win this will be doing it. Hell, I'll even put this out now. In 2022, and and if Hannah wants to come on, and I'll say this, I will literally have a number one contenders match with the champion, and it'll be like a Money in the Bank option. I'll give one option, and I'll announce this. One option that from a past guest will get it, and I'll pick them, and another one from a male and female will go after the champion at their own leisure. So it's like an interesting Money in the Bank concept thing. I will pick those two at Mania, and then the sub card, we will be crowning a number one contender, the first number one contender for this title. So that will be part of the sub card. So even if you're not in this tournament, there will be a battle royale for the chance to face the champion at the next pay-per-view, or that within the 90-day grace period. And
what did Jeremy wear? I'm sorry, but I just saw that.
So I would literally love to see Hannah's perspective on this, considering the fact that she is a belt collector, obviously with all the winged eagles and stuff like that. But I'd also want someone else's perspective of the tournament that's been past here. Like I've been trying to reach out to DK for him to give me his opinion on this stuff too. But I'm just glad that, Bob's having fun and kind of really put freaking Drew in his place, kind of.
Oh yeah, man. No, it's good. I'm having a good time.
I think the best part would probably be if you did cross over him in the final, and then all of a sudden you just literally be like, I'm gonna kill you. You're done. Yeah, we've talked little wrestling at this point since he popped up. Yeah. But so with I'll ask this real quick. Well, I'll ask this real quick. Where did you guys think that the percentage after Hell in a Cell for that match between Maggie and Pat was a lot higher for Pat or lower for Maggie after her reaction, or do you think it was just right?
I'll be honest, I did not watch their predictions, so I had no idea what to think.
For me, it changed when they changed the matches around, because it made more like, because with the Seth Rollins Cesaro match, they added that. And made more of a 50-50 match, in my opinion. Same as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match, more of a 50-50 match. So
and then they also added to the pre-show, they added Natalia.
Does that count?
Yes, that counts.
Okay.
It's not. It counts. We count any shows on the kickoff show.
I read this. I watched the prediction show last Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah,
and to me, they were close on the predictions. Totally changed once they added those matches from Friday. They took away the Ray and Roman Reigns match, which I guess it still counts.
They did not take it away. Tad did include that.
It made it a little bit more 50-50. So I'm not surprised by those percentages that you gave out.
Well, while we move forward from that, because it's exciting, this tournament is going on. NXT was so good in Diamond Mine. I'm all into that. Now you have so many factions going on in NXT. It reminds you of the Attitude Era. Like the Nation of Domination was there, DX. So many good factions during that time. Do you think this is like a renaissance almost for NXT, but like an attitude renaissance for NXT?
But are there too many factions? How are we supposed to know who's in each faction? That's everybody who is being dumb about claiming that AEW has too many factions. I don't know if it's necessarily a renaissance of the Attitude Era. I think it's just more like they're seeing that like. And this is just my opinion. I think that NXT, I think they're still paying attention to AEW, and they're going, okay, well, they're doing something interesting there. Why don't we try doing our own spin on it? And it's not so much about trying to outdo AEW as just more taking inspiration, because there definitely has been a noticeable shift in quality since Takeover, like noticeably.
I mean,
to be fair though,
Raw
that's
after
been 2
WrestleMania-
shows.
Even Raw after Raw after Hell in a
fair,
Cell
but-
was different. Raw after Hell in a Cell was different too. I'm like,
yeah, but I think it's more noticeable. I think it's more noticeable done with NXT, because I think people still have that hope that NXT can still be good. Whereas with Raw, sure, Raw this week was good. I don't think anybody is expecting it to be as good next week. If they do it 2 times in a row, then maybe it'll be like
Raw will have one good week, and then it'll have like 5 bad weeks in a row.
Right. But yeah, my only thing is I'm a little bummed. The only thing I'm really kind of bummed about with Diamond Mine is Roddy, and the fact that he's in another faction so soon after the Undisputed Era, and the fact that there's still stuff there that is not resolved with Roddy and all the other members of UE. But I think Sean said this either on Listen to Your Boy or List Goes On yesterday. He thinks that story is still there and they can still get to it. It may be a thing of they're waiting for Bobby Fish to come back because he's off for whatever reason, and also waiting for the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff to kind of finish telling that story before then maybe then Roderick gets involved. But there is still so much story left there, because having everybody kind of explore their thing.
It's interesting because of the fact that it could set up something at War Games, and I was watching Love Wrestling.
Gotta be in it.
Yeah, I was watching
War Games.
Yeah, I was watching the War Report for Love Wrestling this morning at 9:00. Just like I said, I was doing an AC recharge. I had time to do something and watch something while you're doing it, because it's a 45-minute job. But I put a question in there to me that made perfect sense. Is that, do you see Fish, Cole, and O'Reilly coming together to go against Diamond Mine in War Games, possibly as a future booking? Because that would be interesting, and then you could sprinkle on 2 other people on each side to even it out. Like, who would be the other 2 for each side if you had the 3 already established? And I'll ask Rob first, and we'll work our way around.
It's interesting because, I mean, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces with NXT. That's the thing. So it's really hard to kind of predict something like that right now, I think. Not to give like a cop out of an answer here, but it's clear that things are going to be changing soon. So I don't want to, say someone who's not going to be there anymore, but it's tough. I like how they're doing Diamond Mine so far. I think they had a really big debut. Roddy being in another faction, I think is okay because he's a leader now. I think that's a big difference. And it's going to be interesting.
What about you, Anakin?
Personally, for me, if you're going to have Diamond Mine in a War Games match, which it's so weird, like War Games is like November, and we're all already talking about it, but I don't think you should have any other members of UE there. I think the fact that there are so many factions now, I think means you could potentially have several different factions that are a possibility of feuding with each other. And one thing that I would love to see, I don't think they're going to do it because WWE has rarely shown a willingness to do that. But I would like to see like The Way against some other faction that also puts in 2 guys and 2 girls, because it's so rare to see all 4 members of The Way in one match together. Like we had something several weeks ago that I remember where it was a 4-person mixed tag match. That was when Dexter Lumis picked up Indy Hartwell and just ran off into the back, and Indy's like, but I think if because we already know, Candice LeRae, she'll go all out in a War Games match. She's done it twice. I don't think Gargano has ever been in a War Games match, and I think he would see that as something that would be really fun. And if you could find another group with 2 guys and 2 girls who are able to go at it, but again, the only problem is they don't do a whole lot of like intergender stuff, and when they do, it's a really brief. Like Becky went up against James Ellsworth, Sasha went up against Reginald, and then Rhea Ripley did that weird thing at the Great American Bash last year against Robert Stone brand. Like Robert Stone.
But the guy can wrestle. The guy's not like Reginald or James Ellsworth. The guy can actually is much better. It's just that they don't use him that way, right? But
the fact of the matter is WWE, I think, might still be hesitant to actually have like full on men hitting women and like full on stuff like that, and like it can be done. And here's done the thing too. If you're gonna have anybody in that match to kind of be like, okay, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. Candice LeRae knows how to do intergender matches inside and out. Because she did them for years on the indie scene. So she would be an invaluable source to help WWE, producers and agents and stuff, be like, okay, here's stuff we can do, and here's stuff we can't do, and be able to work in those confines. And I think Candice could really help them put on a great War Games match.
What about you, Rain?
I think, like Bob mentioned, with Roddy Strong being like the leader of this group, I think that does kind of help with him going from one faction to another. And I think as far as like the War Games thing, I like the fact that it's 5-6 months away and we can be like, oh, I wonder what we might get. Because like a War Games match should not be like, hey, it's November, War Games. Like it should be something that's built up. So I don't mind that. And I look at the fact that like Roddy being in a group that was in a lot of War Games matches, that allows, like, if Diamond Mine was to be the group to go in it, it's at least enough new people, but someone who's done it before, like you said, who can say, here's what will and won't work. So he can kind of be that insight. And I do think that's a unique role for him because he wasn't part of the original Undisputed era. He was that 4th piece that got added. So as far as like guys that can go in, if they wanted to add more people, but I don't necessarily think they need to, but they could look at someone like Thatcher and Ciampa and say, hey, like Catch Point with Bibbins and all that stuff, like they could do something there. I think that'd be really cool. But then you're getting into 5 people, and I'd want to see them do more 3 and 4 people stables before I start doing 5 and 6 people stables. Because again, show me what you can do right before you make it bigger.
Well, the question that
I mean, we did get Blood and Guts with 5 people teams, and they made that work.
But
so
that
the
was
question I have also
company.
is for you guys is that since now the brand is kind of no more because McAfee's a commentator now, and Lorcan only and Dunn are not doing as much. Do you see do you see Oni and Dunn going into the Diamond Mine for a little while just to go against Imperium for at War Games? That would be an interesting idea. I mean,
I don't think you need to add. I don't think you need to add anybody to Diamond Mine unless it's women.
Especially because they just debuted.
Saphir?
Let them show what they can do.
Well, we'll watch Sean's wife.
Yeah, I saw somebody suggest Marina Shafir because she is Roddy's wife. But then the thing where the fact is she's very green. She did not work a whole lot of matches.
Yeah,
most of her time in NXT was as Shayna's like henchwoman.
Jessica Ms. Duke's partner, basically, tag team partner.
Yeah. I mean, they did some tag matches, and she might have had a couple of singles, but for somebody that green, I don't think you want her suddenly being thrust into that spotlight of these are top people who are really going to show their dominance. I think Marina Shafir, she need a lot more experience before I'd want to put her in that kind of role. I see why people would want it, but I don't think it'd be the right fit.
Well, anything is possible. I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming on. Raw was pretty decent for once.
Yeah.
I mean, new
that middle
matches and
match.
That
stuff
Hell
like
in a
that.
Cell match. Oh, that was my favorite one of the whole weekend. I was not
And
like
oddly, it was not on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, I mean, neither was Roman Ray, but like
I like Bianca Belair and Bailey match.
that was fine. I was disappointed by it.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Rob, what's up? I think he's on his phone. Yeah.
Yeah, he is on his phone.
Oh, so he froze up.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, so what do you think of the show so far? So I guess he wanted to come on and tell me.
But like, I think he's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like Ray and Roman match, I wasn't a big fan of. Like, it was fine in the beginning seeing Ray use different like weapons and stuff against Roman. Once Roman took control that first time is when I kind of started to lose interest. Although the yeet bomb into the cell wall was cool. And I liked Roman using that submission move as a finisher and him establishing that.
Guillotine.
But Bianca and Bailey was
frozen.
fine, but it just wasn't to the level of what the previous two women's Hell in a Cell matches were, which, is, might not be fair, but it's also like it's all we really have to compare. And I didn't even bother watching Drew and Bobby. I literally tapped out before the very last match. I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't care about this.
Was it you? I think it was somebody on the stream who said you wanted to see the two candlestick spot with that Brady that backfired against the Sasha Banks match. Was it you, Anakin? Anakin?
Well, Sean had said on the post show that he loved that spot, and then in the live watching channel on Discord, Warren asked, wasn't that the spot that Bailey tried doing last year and it failed? So
you know what I like about this? Michael Cole was reminding the audience, and Bailey's just like, they know, Mike. Shut up, Michael. They know.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite match, Rob, of Hell in the Cell and Monday Night?
I did like the two cell matches on the actual pay-per-view a lot. I know a lot of people had problems with Drew and Lashley, but I think it was actually pretty good. I've liked all their matches, I think, so far. I'm cool not seeing it anymore, but I think they did.
Oh, we may get it again, though.
Well, I don't think so, but
a wall-up always leads to a wall-up pin usually does lead to another match, just usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the stipulation was you can't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but if he wins Money in the Bank,
he'll go after Roman.
There's nothing stopping him. But
I don't want him in the Money in the Bank match, Drew.
Because here's the thing, Drew is he's a baby face. He's got to follow the rules. So like that would be a thing where it would be like, all right, like you said that you won't go after this, or if Bobby loses the title to somebody in the next couple of months, like you don't have to cash in right away. You can wait a while. Like that's a fun thing to do if you make the story good.
And that's what I'm hoping they do, because they haven't really done a proper long run of just holding onto the briefcase, if you think about it, since Carmella. Because the stuff with the stuff with
this
Otis
last year is an exception.
Right, because Asuka actually won the title instead of the briefcase, and then Otis had it and then lost it to Miz, and Miz had it for a few months, but it wasn't this long thing of one continuous person. They have not done that since Carmella, and last year was the longest they actually let the briefcase go, because before that you had Brock, who cashed in the pay-per-view before SummerSlam the year before, and you had Bailey cash in that night. The previous year, 2018, you had Alexa cash in that night, and then Braun Strowman, who then cashed in for a Hell in a Cell match, which ended in a no contest.
Well, and as far as like giving them credit for like, hey, this last year you held on to it for a long time. The only reason they held on to it for a long time is because they were like hoping that maybe we'll get fans. And they have a kid. Had they gotten fans in August, they would have blown it in August. But if they do a quick cash in at some point, not on the night, let's put a stop to this cash in on the night of, because ever since
Moxley did it, it's been a pretty continuous thing because
Yeah.
you had 3 cash-ins on the night of the pay-per-view in 4 years. 2016,
common.
2018, and 2019. And it's like, stop. And technically 2020, because the next night Asuka ends up being the champion.
It became on the women's side, mostly on the women's side.
Yeah. Like, let them have a good, nice run with it.
So the good question is that, and I'll ask you guys, do you think there could be a Seth Rollins moment again at WrestleMania with on the women's side instead of the men's? Like that moment where someone runs down there at WrestleMania again.
Depends on who wins it.
If Becky Lynch comes back, hopefully that.
Obviously.
No, but I mean, like,
I know.
I mean, yes, but I mean, like, it depends because for one, we don't know the SmackDown side at all for any of these matches. We don't know. So, but if it's somebody like Charlotte, Charlotte's not going to wait that long. And I don't think she's going to be in it because she wasn't a qualifying match. I'm just saying if it's somebody like that, they're not going to want to wait until WrestleMania.
So I disagree with you on Charlotte. What's her hurry? She's already had 13 titles. Wait, find your spot. She's always think about it. She's the opportunity now. What is the briefcase but an opportunity? Like that could be something where she teases it a lot. I think she'd actually work really well.
Now hold on.
Piss everybody off, but they'd
yeah. Rob's having technical difficulties with this.
It's not going to be Becky because I think Becky's going to come back in July.
So
and I don't think that's a good spot for her either. Honestly, I don't.
So you guys for watching, we're going to extend this a little bit because I think Rob Wilkins is trying to join us a little bit. So I think it'd be a good idea to have his opinion on this. So, I mean, Becky has talking about returns and stuff like that. Becky has been spotted at the PC. Cena has
at SmackDown.
Cena has been actually stated that he is going to return. He just doesn't know when. Where do you see this talent returning? Because
I say about Becky.
Yeah, well, hold on, let him finish.
Because if they do this now, do you see like Cena doing a match at, let's say, SummerSlam and then doing a Mania match, or do you see him just once in a while, or do you see Becky doing like a Brock style, run where she just, wins a title, holds it for a little while, drops it, and then, just putting people over left and right?
With Becky, I think Cena will come back at SummerSlam, but I heard in that same interview with Fallon that there's more offers for other roles, and that's been offered. So might periodically with Cena. I'm hearing the same thing with Becky too. Periodically, that's what Samoa Sap is basically insinuating. But with Becky, I think she'll come back on the Raw after Money in the Bank because I think Rhea Ripley is going to retain the title and Money in the Bank. And Rhea Ripley, my idea is Rhea Ripley comes out, cut a promo after defeating Charlotte, and then all of a sudden Becky Lynch's music hits. The pop. She's going to get a huge, humongous pop, and Becky Lynch is going to go up to Rhea Ripley. That title is mine. I never lost that title. I had to give it up. Something like that. And they're going to have a match. I think they should have a match at SummerSlam. I know some of you don't think she'd be in the title picture, but technically she never lost the title. But I don't want Charlotte to get involved. Don't make it.
So as far as Cena, I definitely agree. The soonest we're going to see him is probably going to be after. It's honestly, it's probably going to be after August 6th. And the reason I say that is because that's when the Suicide Squad comes out, because he's doing press for Fast 9 right now, and then next month he has to do press for that. So it does lead you to wonder what kind of match could he realistically do with a decent build, in 3 weeks' time. I do think a Roman match, I think you could get away with that because there's enough hype for that. And they had a match in 2017, but that was a different Roman than the one we have.
Badly build match 2 leading to the match.
Well, I would disagree because they had a whole promo thing on Raw where like where Cena was basically being the mouthpiece for all the people that hate Roman, and Roman was being the mouthpiece for all the people who have hated Cena. The difference is that Cena also showed Roman how to be able to do things when you forget your lines, because Roman forgot his lines, and Cena pounced on that and you know. But I think now Roman wouldn't have that struggle.
Well,
I think
he knows this.
He knows this. He knows this character. He knows. He knows how to do it. As far as Becky, it's such a mystery because she very clearly has been training. She's gotten back in ring shape. She's looking better than she ever has from the few pictures that we've seen. Where exactly she goes, how often she's appearing, I don't think she needs to go back to being a full-time wrestler. I do think just because of who she is, I think she's able to be that kind of person that pops in and pops out. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think fans are really going to complain, one, because they'll be happy to see her regardless, but two, because they also know she's a mom now. She's got a kid. And I think that's going to go a long ways towards people. And I think actually my personal preference, Becky's first big match back, I don't think should be in a title match. I think it should be a different featured match against somebody, whether it is against Charlotte or whatnot. That would be something that I would be more interested in than just immediately seeing Becky back in the title picture, because that's not what got her over initially way back in 2018.
So my feeling about Becky's return, and then I'll let everybody else, including Rob, go first at least, because I don't think he's had a say in this. I think she's not going to go to Raw. I really don't. And the thing is, if the trend goes that they keep couples together and stuff, I think most likely she's going to end up facing Bianca at SummerSlam. And that would be a really good match and stuff. I mean, it keeps her with Seth. You can keep the parents together if they have to have somebody watch the kid, like her mom backstage or something like that. If Seth's there not doing anything and vice versa, they can go back and forth. But Bianca, to me, seems like that's the destination they might end up. So what do you think about that, Rob?
Well, I mean, I think it's a big match. It's a good match, but you have to, Cena's obviously going to SmackDown. Edge is coming back to SmackDown. You need to give some big things to Raw. And, we don't know if Brock's going to be there. So he's a guy that, would be on Raw, but it's a question mark. So I don't know, man. Like, I think Becky and Bianca would be good, but you can also just as easily do Sasha and Bianca again, and then, have Becky face Charlotte or whomever on Raw. And, obviously keeping the couples together is big, but I don't know that it's as big at the moment, because it seems like everyone's just kind of on the same schedule for at least, this run, while they do like the super shows for the house shows and all that. So, and then, obviously with Cena, he's coming back. He's going to face Roman. I think waiting until after Suicide Squad, you only have, 2 weeks to build the SummerSlam. So he'll probably be back before then, I would think, and just, still do media for the movie, just not on Friday night or whatever. But
we forgot about Sasha. SmackDown does miss Sasha Banks. They're suffering without Sasha Banks.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and she'll be back too fairly soon.
And I think putting Becky up there and boost her up. But I mean, on Raw, what you could do is give Edge away from like the whole scenario where Roman's never going to give him a shot. Like, Roman's literally going to hold that title until Mania. So for me, if you put Edge on Raw and have him go over that title, I mean, at least go have a run against Bob. That would be interesting.
I do like to see Edge and Seth Rollins. If that's what WrestleVotes is saying, I would love to see that match at SummerSlam. And then they have the draft after, because we know that's pretty much confirmed they're gonna have a draft after SummerSlam.
Well, if that's the case, then this channel is definitely going to be doing another draft. Hey, Wilkins cohort, we got to get that planned out soon enough. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Doing a whole draft and stuff. I might ask Anakin to pop in and try to moderate that, because literally we ended up putting NXT into that whole thing, and it was like a 2-hour draft that should have taken a shorter.
Oh gosh, yeah, I would help. I would help keep things on track as best I could with you two, because you two can sometimes. You two sometimes are just like, I can't even control. You couldn't even control it.
Early draft thoughts here. I want to hear what you think. So
Becky,
we know
number
Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross has been spotted on main event. I don't think they get called up, but do you think there's a potential that they'll be in the draft?
No.
Well, by the time the draft comes, yes, because because the draft is probably not going to happen until like October, because that's when they typically.
No, it's gonna be earlier.
Well, there's rumors it's going to be that, but right now, it's not. It's not known for sure. But which also one quick thing I forgot to mention about Diamond Mine is, it's a good thing that Diamond Mine is focusing on the cruiserweight division, seeing as how right now, like, NXT doesn't know how much longer they're going to have their NXT champion and their North American champion. So to be able to focus on a championship and a title that they know is not going anywhere for a while is a good thing. But now, did you guys see Karrion Kross's entrance on main event? Did you guys see that?
No.
So it was really weird because, number one, it wasn't with Scarlett, because Scarlett is having her own separate tryout tomorrow night in like a dark match before Smackdown, and it was they literally just played the music. There was no special camera stuff. There was no fog, no special lights, nothing. They just played his music, and he just comes out, and somebody said it looks like a custom creation thing from 2K19. Like, it's very strange, and it seems very flat without the whole ambiance of the camera stuff and the fog and Scarlett with her weird faces and all. And it's like, I don't understand why they would even attempt this without Scarlett, because
they don't watch.
But it's like the whole entrance. Like, how many of us have been saying this entrance is made for Raw? This is a Raw entrance that you give to somebody who you want on the main roster to look like $1 million, and you put them on main event with just nothing, like no fanfare.
Yeah.
So
Well, how about this?
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
why don't we? Because Rod Wilkins said that his computer's updating and stuff. So I said, he could always. Oh, great! Really?
What now?
Just don't let him in.
No.
Oh, the tweet. The tweet.
Yeah.
Don't show it. Don't give him that honor. Don't give him that honor. Don't show it.
Okay. So, anyways.
Oh my god! I just saw it now.
Yeah. It's making an innuendo that he's on his way to Massachusetts. Yeah. No.
So,
you might find Lowell, but Lowell's a big city. But
in regards to the cross thing, though, it did prove Adam Cole's point to be correct, that you take all that crap away and he's just a dork.
Yeah.
Well,
and it was interesting because I actually asked today on Discord, like, what's with all the cross hate, because I don't remember him having it really an impact, and or at least like hearing about it, and people were like no, like, people never really cared about his impact stuff either. It's just he wasn't in as featured of a position as he is now as the NXT champion. Like, he was never Impact champion. So.
No, he wasn't.
Well, why don't we wrap this up, since it's been an hour and 15 minutes? First things first, I want to thank again Mr. Bob ONeill to be in on. You're more welcome anytime you feel like coming on here, especially with us and, the complex guy that comes on here sometimes. So I want to apologize about that. It's kind of hard. I know he's watching still. So, I mean, it is what it is. But it's an honor for you to be in that main event in September. It really means a lot to me, and because of the fact that a lot of people don't know and have been wanting to say this, that I've been financially backing this tournament, and no, I'm not paying these people to be in this tournament, but I'm out of my own money. I'm shipping this out to somebody. I am literally paid for this belt to be customly made. I am literally paying for all this stuff, the StreamYard and stuff, and I'm not asking for any of the dime. Like, you can even ask Anakin, Ray, Aaron. I don't ask them for anything for this. They do this out of the kindness of their heart.
I wouldn't do it if you asked me for money. Still.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It's just like,
I know what you mean.
I put this all financially on my back, and for some people, I have a feeling like they think this might be a little bit of a joke at times, but it's not, because I'm working 50 to 60 hours to financially back this, and that's include paying all my bills. So when people step up and step into this tournament and do it for fun and know it's a good thing, because this is going to bring the community a lot closer, in my opinion. This is my gift. And like I say, this is part of my legacy in this community, and giving it back is always a great thing. And I always want that. It's something that I appreciate. And you stepping in after Tad putting that out the other night, it means a lot. And I wanted to say thank you.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. It's a cool thing you're doing here. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you never know. It might end up having me to deliver it all the way to where you're. You're in Chicago, right?
St. Louis.
Oh, nice.
He's a Cubs fan in St. Louis. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You know, now he's doing it to every single person now.
I mean, he's not wrong. It is a nice place to visit.
He's not welcome here.
Well, no. He can come to Michigan if he wants to. He's just not welcome in West Michigan. There's a whole eastern part of the state he can go to. There's a UP. There's the central. There's the eastern part. West Michigan is off limits.
I mean, him doing the Massachusetts one is just that. But St. Louis, that would be an awesome trip, because I've never been to St. Louis. I've been to Chicago for about 8 hours. That's about it. I took the train cross country from California to Boston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I did
3 days.
In the airport only.
No, but I always wanted to go to St. Louis anyways. I mean, even if it's go see a Cardinals game, that's one of those things that was always on my list and stuff. But we'll wrap this up. Like I said, thank you, Bobo, for being on. You're always welcome on here whenever you want. Even if you want it, you could stand the insanity that's in this channel at times. But tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, on Twitter at Robert ONeill 31. And then from there you'll be able to find. I do some other wrestling podcasts. I do, The Distraction every week for a few minutes. I'm kind of all over the place.
And in the future, one of these guys will be the future champion of the belt that's sitting right next to me. So, by the way, and I didn't tell you this belt actually came in a small box, and it showed up with a bag, with an Undisputed Belts bag. Go check them out, undisputedbelts.com. Anakin?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can find me on Twitter at AnakinJMT. Right down there. I'm also on the Mr. Warren Hayes Discord. I'm not taking your gimmick, Ray. I'm leaving that to you.
Hey, it's a solid move. It's like a super kick. Everyone is eventually going to use it.
You can find me there. You can find me on the Mr. Warren Hayes Discord. Hey, on the other channel, the Wicked Crazy Crew TV channel, yesterday I did the Bean Boozled Challenge with my son, because he got me them for Father's Day and wanted to do it. And I said, well, hey, if we're going to do it, might as well make content out of that. So you can see that. It's about 20 minutes. You'll see me taste a variety of jelly beans, and most of them I instantly just go, ugh. And I'll tell you what, I'm never doing that again. The fact that they somehow manage to say, oh, this could taste like a stink bug, and not only have that, what you imagine the taste, but even have the smell, is revolting. And I'm just like, I'm never doing it again. So, but you can check it out over there. Right now, Mr. Warren Hayes is doing his show. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go over there and be part of that. So go over there and check that out and have a good time.
Okay, Mr. Angry Beaver, who likes to kick an imposing Roman Reigns, personality in this community out. Go ahead and tell him what you do.
I didn't kick him out. He actually left on his own.
GGFC kicked him out at one point.
But no, you can find me on
I
Twitter.
just did it again.
Angry Beaver 1127. I tweet about wrestling and other things. I do prediction shows for AEW, Impact, and WWE pay-per-views. Those are always linked up on my Twitter. So yeah, go give me a follow if you want to. Yeah.
All right, I'll be honest. I'm going to apologize for Aaron because Aaron was on the first ever premiere episode of Kismet with me. That was an awesome show.
Yeah.
That was an interesting show. So, and they're still working out some stuff. So we'll see what happens next. But Aaron, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me in my YouTube channel at Aaron Entertainment. I do a lot of shows actually a week. I do a wrestling show every Monday, sometimes Tuesdays, but I do it mostly on Mondays. I do a pop culture show usually on Thursdays. I did one today. I do a sports show on Saturdays. I'm not going to do one this Saturday because I'm getting my second shot, so I might be knocked out for the day. So that's why I'm not doing it on Saturday. But yeah, check me out on my YouTube channel, Aaron Entertainment. And yeah.
I think we need, like, when Ray does that all the time, I think we need something where with all the COVID
do
stuff.
that one.
No, I think we need the one that has the saying shots, like freaking Little John for right now. Everybody talking about COVID shots. We've got some major changes coming up. We've got a busy July coming up for matches for you guys. So I'm proud to put these dates out. We've got a bunch of good sub matches, but there's one big main event match that will be two big main events matches back to back. Teresa and who is Big Kev's wife versus my friend Kelly, who is in the group chat as Green Panda, will be going at it at GAB, which is Great American Bash, and then Slammiversary will be coming, and that's a match that is going to set up Money in the Bank. So Dennis Farrell, July 17th versus Chris Parrish at Slammiversary will be interesting. And then the next day, the grub match, that whole weekend is going to be an awesome pay-per-view weekend for matches for this tournament, because you have Pluggo versus Spencer Love. And that match has been building really crazy. They've been talking trash constantly, so that's always great. Yeah, but other than that, then we have like a bunch of other stuff towards the tail end of the month for Fight for Fallen and stuff. But everything seems like it's going the way we're hoping. You know, Anakin's got his next match with Ron Patel. You know, and then we'll take it from there. And you know, this guy right here will be facing his cohort at the Distraction. If this is your time, Rob, if you want to cut a promo against them. So, yeah.
You know, I'm going to keep it simple. I think, like I said, I have a lot of respect for Jeremy, but he doesn't know what he's up against here, and he's going to find out.
That's going to be interesting, and I'll be watching the Distraction while you guys talk about that too. Also, he has his show ended and he hasn't popped in yet. That's interesting, Pluggo.
Well, he heard that we're getting off of here, so I'm sure that's right.
Yeah. Other than that, guys, go check out Sister Custom Designs. They did a really good job. Go check out Undisputed Belts. They're the ones who created this belt. It's an awesome belt. I might end up doing something special down the line again with them. And then, you know, go check out Fightful and Love Wrestling. They're doing amazing stuff. Go check out the Trevor Project too. If you have any time, donate it. They're doing it for a good cause. And then for me and the stipulation, actually, how about this? We could stand it for Rob. Can you hang around for a couple extra minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
Pluggo, get on here now. I want to see your reaction on your perspective on your stipulation. Did you guys hear the stipulation about their match? Ray,
what's up?
Did you and Anakin hear the stipulation about his match with Spencer Love?
Yeah, you talked about it last week. The loser has to
make a donation. Yeah. So
yeah, I know that. Yeah, I heard about that too.
So does he really need to come on to get Bob's opinion on that?
No, I wanted Pluggo's opinion on it because he hasn't stated it on air at all.
Well, tune in next week for that.
Yeah, well, he won't be here next week. But anyways, he's probably hanging out with his kids. So do a good deed, pay it forward, guys, and just do something good for someone because today's a gift, tomorrow's not given. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Rob ONeill, for being on with all this craziness in tonight. Other than that, guys, we're out.
Have a nice day.